All right, how's everyone doing? Coach Craig here. I'm going to give you a quick overview on how to set goals for the year. I know last time in my article I mentioned the key to my success last year was setting good goals and setting goals that were challenging but doable, and how the year before in 2015 I didn't get almost any of them. And then last year I not only got my 2016 goals, I got my 2015 goals on top of that. So here's my process of how I do it. It's basically 3 steps. I take stock of what I did last year, so trying to kind of get some positive energy going and feeling good about what happened last year and get kind of a little more positive mindset going. A lot of times we get stuck in the day to day and just kind of our own little world and what we're focused on doing and kind of just too reality based, which is not helpful for goal setting. You have to go a little bigger than that and above it. So think about like the highlights from last year and what worked really well. So I brainstormed, like my top 5 things from last year. After that, then I dreamed, which is basically I just brainstormed, just wrote out, I put on a couple good songs, picked my favorite music mix, and just kept writing. I wrote like, 2 or 3 pages of just top, things I'd like to accomplish. And I had to kind of break out again of the confines of the day-to-day living and the struggles I, have every day, and think about, okay, what would be ideal? What would be super killer to accomplish this year? And so I thought about things that are out of my reach that I hadn't really been thinking about, that were kind of beyond where I live now and kind of where I want to go, and dream a little bit. So put good music on, thought again about last year and the positive things that happened, and then thought about, okay, well, what would be ideal? What would be the best scenario I could imagine for this coming year? And then I just brainstormed. I wrote out for like 2 or 3 songs worth everything that came to mind. It included stuff for my physical health, my family, my business, my kind of emotional health too, and just goals and things that I thought would be really cool and really exciting. And I tried not to have any limits on it. I just wrote whatever came to my mind. Then the last part, the 3rd step, is decide. I had to decide. So, I took stock, I dreamed, and now I have to decide. I went back through each one of those and I circled my top 3. And I actually ended up with I ended up with like 4 of them. I just kind of went through my top. One was about the junior team, one was about nationals, had some personal goals, had some business goals, and so I ended up with like 4 or 5 that were my top. And then I made myself, pick 3. And of those 3, I wrote them out again. And I think it's important to write it out. Don't do it by computer. So I actually wrote them out longhand. And I actually ended up with, 2 business goals and then a personal goal. They're my top 3 that are going to define my whole year, and they're all 3 a little bit out of reach. I'll just share one of them, which is to win the national championships in cyclocross, which is a huge goal. Last year I was 15th, so I'm going to have to really do everything right and really focus 1,000% to get to that goal. And then after I wrote those top 3, wrote them out again, and just kind of redefined them. Okay, in the scope of a year, what would be an aggressive yet possible goal for 2017? And I wrote them out again, and then I actually wrote a little kind of a shorthand of them that if I could just like put as a, so for my nationals goal, it was me win, just 2 words, kind of, just a little something. If I could just put it on my stem or put it on my computer, me win. If I saw it, it would remind me that I want to win nationals. And then I decided to write a key for each one of those goals. What were my keys to victory for 2017? So for instance, for each of those 3, I wrote something. For my cyclocross goal was monthly overloads for cyclocross. That once a month I have to really push myself to be, absolutely crushed in training, where I really take myself and push myself to the limit, and have that be a progression from, strength and core work this time of the year to eventually endurance and eventually high speed ballistic work right before the season starts. So a progression of that. And so those are my keys to victory. And then I put them in a reminder on my phone. Actually, one just popped up as I was starting this video. I had these reminders set every week to remind me on my phone, just as reminder things or whatever. Pick something that you're going to remind yourself weekly of these goals for the rest of the year. And that way it'll keep you on track, keep you reaching, and keep you kind of refocused. So no matter what life throws at you and you kind of get stuck in the day-to-day, you'll raise your eyes up and you'll look at your goals for the year and check in and just say, okay, I need to keep reaching towards those goals. And again, it doesn't matter to me so much where I end up. It just matters that I'm going for something, and that